BarbacoaCore.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for checking out the BarbacoaCore Podcast. I'm Patrick C. Huerta. Hopefully you're doing good. I am alright. I am doing pretty okay. Did a show at the Well. It was a lot of fun, man. It was fun to be back on stage. Fun seeing a lot of familiar faces, some other comics. It was a nice setup. We were outdoors. Everybody was social distancing. A lot of people, I think the promoter said that it was about like 50 people. And so it was cool. It was a nice place, nice setup, good stage. I did okay. I could have done better. Rusty, man. Like, we don't have open mics. I haven't been doing anything since everything popped off. So, performing with comedy, performing is like a muscle, and you have to work it out, to get good, to get solid. You got to work it out. And a lot, like the show was good. Everybody really did well. Some other people will get opportunities to get up and to perform, So, but it was a lot of fun. I think I did okay. I had a rough start because apparently I was the only one concerned about us all sharing the microphone, So I took my own mic and I started my set. I was wearing gloves and switching out the microphones, plugging it in my mic, that I carried on myself, and then forgetting that I had gloves on and I didn't want to keep performing with the gloves on. It looked weird, felt weird. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with the microphone that I just plugged in. And so I'm holding the microphone with my forearms, trying to get the gloves off. And it was a rough start, good maybe 30 seconds wasted doing all that stuff. And, and like for 30 seconds, of course, it's just 30 seconds, goes by pretty fast. It felt like forever just trying to get that situated. And then by the time I got everything right, the microphone switched out, the gloves taken off, I was like, oh yeah, now I forgot what I was going to say. And it took a little bit more long before even getting started on my set. So I was like, what the fuck? Freaking out, which is not awesome, but that's where I was going at, and did okay. I should have sticked with old stuff. I wanted to try out some new stuff, which is not what you should be doing at a show. That's what open mics are for. To try stuff out, see if it works, but I didn't want to just go up and do my old jokes. I mean, of course, I did some old jokes, fill up the time, but I tried out some new jokes that obviously were not ready, and I felt that immediately after going over it, that I should have not started with the new stuff. It was new to everybody, but I should. All my jokes were new to people, so I should have just stuck with the good old things that work, But I really wanted to try out the new stuff. Really wanted to try it out, see if it was worth keeping, and still need some work, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Didn't want to do too many COVID jokes, Didn't want to call attention to that. These people wanted to come out. They wanted to be at a comedy show. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to hear COVID shit, Of course, I mentioned it a little bit. It was weird. with the whole switching out the mics and stuff. Everybody else was fine sharing the mic. I think there was some microphone wipes. I don't know, um, which is, I guess. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Um, I don't know. I just preferred to use my own mic. The second show that I've done to this whole thing, and second show I use my own mic. I should practice unplugging and replugging a mic. I mean, I don't have nothing on the boards. I don't have any shows scheduled, but I should really practice that move a little bit more instead of just worrying about my jokes or my set. Practice with the microphone. Let's unplug it. Let's replug it. Let's try to make it as smooth as possible. If I could have executed that better, I would have probably had more confidence in the rest of my set. I didn't feel good until like the last 3 minutes, you know. And like I said, we're outside. All the tables are pretty, you know, pretty far from the stage, and like a lot of people. All the tables were pretty much filled up outside, and so it went pretty far out, you know. But I couldn't hear anybody's laughs. I think their faces seemed to be enjoying whatever I was doing, whatever I was trying to do, the jokes I was attempting. But I needed that reaction. So you could, if you, I don't know if anybody took pictures, but you will see that my heel, the only thing that's on the stage is the heel of my shoe, because I was at the furthest edge of the stage, so I could just hear any type of response. There's a table, a couple that were sitting in the reserve spot, and I was pretty much just performing to them because I could hear their reactions. So hopefully everybody else kind of like dug what I was doing, but I was pretty much just shooting, you know, towards them, because they were very nice. They were drinking, so they were having a good time, and I appreciate that table. Hopefully the whole yard, hopefully everybody there enjoyed my set. Yeah, could have been more prepared. I need to practice plugging in the whole microphone and stuff, because of course, you know, you get called up, rush of adrenaline, rush of energy, you know, nerves, and unplugging a mic, and hopefully that there's not a lot of feedback throughout that whole unplugging, replugging, all that stuff. Shaking, you know. I mean, I could plug in a mic. It's not that hard. Let's add shaking to it, and then it becomes, you know, it's a game now. Now it's it's an actual thing to attempt. But it was fun, man. The Well, they're gonna be doing shows every 2 weeks. I think they have another show booked already for the 27th. I don't know if that's the correct thing. But it's a great setup, dude. I wish them all the best. I appreciated that they asked me to do the first show. It was good, man. It was so much fun to be on stage and see everybody and see other people perform and seeing the crowd and enjoy them. Goddamn, I miss that so much. I miss performing. It's tough, and a lot of people say just chill the fuck out with comedy. You know, nobody needs comedy right now. And I get that. It's not that important. Me going on stage is not that important in like with the whole bigger picture. I get that. But at the same time, I fucking needed it. I really needed to be on stage. I really needed that set to do a whole lot better. I think I would have been a little bit happier if it were a whole lot better. But look, I'm not getting the opportunity to practice. I'm not getting the opportunity to work these things out, you know. And there's a big difference between my performance and performances of people who have been doing this for a long time. I mean, right now they're on autopilot, and they're just so good at what they do. It was fun. It was fun to see them, you know, and it just highlighted how much I need to work on my set. It's just hard to work on it without a crowd. You need open mics to fucking get your shit together, to build a set. You need the audience. You need whatever. It is what it is. And then I being an outdoor show, I wasn't sure if there was kids there. I don't think there was kids there. I didn't really pay attention, but I was like, I'm not gonna do my dirty shit. We're outside. It's a nice day. It's a nice venue. I'm not gonna dirty it up with my dirty shit. So I didn't do anything dirty in my set, and I'm not really that dirty, but I do have a few that are like, kind of gross. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. And I really regret that, man. I really regret that. The audience loves the dirty shit. There was wet ass pussy jokes, and other sex jokes that were, the crowd really liked. I was checking out the other comics from the back because I just wanted to hear what it sounded like if people laughed, because I couldn't hear them laugh during my set because either I wasn't that good or they were just that far from the stage. But yeah, man, when the dirty stuff came out, the dirty jokes came out, those were crowd pleasers for sure, and you can't be mad about that. I wish I should have went dirty. I shouldn't have tried the new stuff. Shouldn't have brought out the new stuff before actually trying it out at a mic. But what am I gonna do? It was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. So yeah, comics are kind of like split between like, should we be doing anything right now? Should we be doing shows? Are your dick jokes that important right now? Just chill the fuck out. Stay at home. People are getting sick. People are coming out and getting infected and all that stuff. And your show, and your performances and your comedy is not that important for anybody to die over, which is 100% accurate. But at the same time, man, performing, being able to do that really made me feel a whole lot better, And I mean, we're narcissists, people that do this, performers, artists, whatever you want to call it. It's narcissism. We want validation. We need validation, and I've always had that in me, like, especially in a band. That's why I picked up the drums, or playing the drums, because no matter what music, what type of music, no matter what, you cannot ignore the drummer. You may be able to forget the bass player. You may be able to forget the guitar player, especially when they're just doing the whole ensemble thing. But you're not going to not notice what the drummer is doing. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe that's my point of view because I am a drummer. I was a drummer, whatever the fuck. It's impossible. It's impossible, And my favorite drummers, my favorite performances were the ones where you could see the drummer actually give a fuck and have a good time and enjoy it. And man, when I played, I was fucking hard hitting. You knew that I was having a good time. I was animated, faces, actions, stick throwing, twirling, fucking smashing, all that fucking good stuff, because I wanted it to look like I was confident and having a good time and all this stuff. The thing that pisses me off the most is when drummers act like they don't give a fuck. When they act like they don't give a fuck. Jimmy World will never go see them again. Because the drummer, they played here fucking years ago. The drummer couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. And I understand. I mean, you don't really. It's Jimmy World's not very intense. drumming and stuff. But Jesus Christ, act like you give a fuck. Act like you give a fuck. You know. Um, so, and that's what I'm trying to bring that into my how I am in comedy. You know, and I understand. Like, man, I wasn't the best drummer, but it took me years of being shitty at playing drums before I fucking got confident and stuff. And I know that's how it's gonna be the same way with comedy. You know, like, man, like there's certain thing, a certain way that I see myself being on stage as a comic, and I try so hard to get to that, but it's just with all the mechanics and stuff, all the muscle memory and performing the jokes and enunciating and just doing like just doing everything that you have to do to be good at stand up. It's a lot. It's a lot to do, but I know there's a lot to work on, to improve and improve on. But Jesus, man, it was a lot of fun to finally be able to get up. I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything booked. I'm not gonna go out searching for shows, you know. And I really feel bad. Like, I promoted the show, and I could have promoted more and stuff, but I was only doing like an 8-minute spot. It wasn't my show, you know. And I mean, I told people about it, but I wasn't gonna shove it down anybody's throat, because maybe they don't feel like they want to go out. Maybe they don't feel like it's a risk. It's enough to risk it. And I didn't want to put anybody on the spot, you know. You know, come out to my show. It wasn't my show, you know. I posted about it on my page. I reshared anything, but I wasn't really pushing it because, you know, I don't have. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to upset anybody, you know, and I'm not trying to trivialize this whole thing that's going on, because it is serious, you know, and a lot of people don't agree with the show must go on type of thing, and I get that. I get that, you know, but we're narcissists. And if somebody says, I have a stage for you, and especially if it's something that you are so invested in, and you were so heavily invested in it before all this stuff popped off, before the world shut down, and if somebody offers you stage time, uh, I took it. I took it, you know. So yeah, it was a good time. It re-energized my love for the thing that I am focusing I have been focusing my energy on for the past 3 years. It's a lot of fun, man. It is so much fucking fun, and that's the good part about it. You know, I mean, that's why I do it. That's why I started doing it. You know, I miss performing with music. You know, and I realized that I couldn't do bands anymore. You know, the situation for putting a band together, keeping a band together, performing, practicing, recording, performing, practicing, all that stuff. It just wasn't, it wasn't in the cards anymore. You know, I had to find a different outlet. And I mean, I wasn't a guitar player. I wasn't a solo artist, solo musical artist. You know, I'm a drummer, and you can't really do that on your own as a project. You know, I mean, I don't know. I've tried to have like uh, create solo music that I can play drums to and stuff, and I was thinking about doing that. You know, it just wasn't fun. And then before I got into comedy, you know, I was even thinking about going to open mics that had for music, for musicians, you know, because they had these things like open mics where you could perform with, like they would have a back line, and a back line for musicians means that the drum set's going to be there, the guitar amps, the bass amps, everything's going to be there. Just show up, you know, just show up and you can start jamming out. And so I was interested in that, I wanted to just go to those music open mics. I didn't have a drum set. I sold all my stuff when I decided to quote unquote retire from playing drums. I hate having stuff that I'm not using. I hate holding on to stuff that I'm not using. So I sold my shit once I decided that I wasn't gonna be playing anymore. You know, and then looking into these open mics that have a backline. And that's when I realized that the people were doing comedy at these things. And I was like, fucking comedy. That might be interesting. And it was my way of looking to get back into playing drums is actually my way of finding comedy open mics, which is pretty weird, because I've always loved comedy. When I was on tour, we would get tired of listening to music. Everything was music, so we would listen to comedy albums. My parents had comedy albums. They had Rodney Dangerfield, and we watched Raw and loved comedy. And then seeing Ralphie May back in 2000 when I was visiting my sister in Italy. Saw Ralphie May, and he invited us to the show that he was doing there, and that was my first time seeing live comedy, and it was fucking mind blowing. It was fucking mind blowing for sure. Never seen it live. I've heard records, and I've seen specials, all that stuff. It was there. It was on TV, but my first time seeing it was Ralphie May in 2000. And loving it. I mean, I loved comedy, loved stand-up comedy. Thought it was fucking, it was great. But I didn't realize I just thought it happened, I didn't realize that people were doing that here until I started looking for music open mics that had backlines. And then it said, music, poetry, comedy. And I was like, what the fuck? Comedy? And then took a couple months to write stuff. I always planned on doing it, signing up for open mics. I would go to open mics and chicken out and not do it, and I would go just a couple open mics and just be an audience member and watch people doing it. And of course, when you see other people doing open mics, the first thing you're going to think is, I could do that. I definitely could do that, And then chickening out and not doing it. Riding, going to the open mics with the intent of signing up and going up, and then chickening out and not doing it. And then, yeah, but 3 years ago, I guess, was it 3 years ago? Something like that. Finally having the balls to actually sign up and stick around, because I've signed up before and then just not stay for them to call my name. It's a really hard to get into, like you could build it up, especially if you build it up in your head too much. It's going to be worse and worse. It's only going to get worse and worse. The anxiety, the pressure, the panic, it gets worse and worse. But goddamn, dude, if man, first times getting up was so much fun. And I for a while I was just going like maybe every other week, and then maybe just a month at a time. I was doing it for 5 months, right? Doing it for 5 months, and then I did Kill Tony, and I think, of course, I've talked about this before, but did Kill Tony after 5 months after going on stage for the first time. And again, doing once a week, maybe every other weekend or week, and then once a month. And then I did Kill Tony, and that's when I fell in love with it. That's when I fucking knew that I wanted to do it. And that because I was at the LOL packed house, sold out show. Kill Tony calls me up as at the last comedian to be able to go on. Called me up, did a minute, was supposed to be a minute, was only like 45 seconds of comedy. Did the interview with them on stage, and then it was after that night that I started going every night. Started going out to mics every night, and it was that lit the fire under me to fucking invest my time, devote my time to comedy, you know. And it's been a hell of a ride. It's been fucking amazing. I met a lot of great people. Some of my closest friends are other comics that we pretty much started at around the same time and stuff. So yeah, it's something that I do very much love to do right now. And so even through this whole thing, even through this whole like pandemic, when people are saying shut down comedy, stop doing shows, stop gathering, I get that. I fucking get that. But also, I really want to do it. You know, I really love doing it. And especially if it's an outdoor show, especially if it's social distancing enforced, safe, especially if people are following those guidelines, I'm down to fucking do it. You know, indoor shows, packed shows. No, I get that. I get not wanting to do that, but man, do I fucking miss it. And if somebody were to ask me to do a show and I thought it was safe or I felt it was safe, and they wanted to offer me a spot, fuck yeah. I am down to fucking do it. So yeah, I guess, man, I wanted to talk about more stuff, but I didn't want to have this go on too long and stuff. I love comedy, and it was good to get back on stage. I need to figure out a way to tighten this stuff up, to tighten my setup without. I mean, there's no open mics going on right now. You know, most of all the comedy action is very little. You know, so I need to figure out a way. I'm not doing Zoom comedy. I'm not doing online comedy. Just not yet. I don't feel like that's gonna satisfy the comedy need. I'd rather just not do it than to do online comedy. I haven't seen anything that appeals to me as far as online comedy goes. You know, especially how I picture it is like just you. It's just like me doing this, just talking to myself, to with nobody else. You know, in the room, nobody else reacted and stuff. Maybe this is what I'm gonna do. Maybe this is what I'm gonna do. I am gonna use this platform as an open mic type of situation. Try out some bits here. How am I gonna know if they work? I don't know. That's a good question. If that's what you just asked, I get that. But I don't know what else to do besides. I mean, I talk to myself all the time as it is. I am back to writing. I took a very long break from writing anything because I just didn't see the point in it. You know, because I wasn't able to get up and try it out and then rework it and all this stuff. And here's the thing too. You know, for a lot of open micers, they like to record their sets, record the audio, and listen back to their sets to see what worked, what how the crowd reacted to that. Maybe you changed, you know, the accent on the joke, premise, punchline, tried it different, you reworded it different. You know, you record your sets and you play it back to see, to just work your material out better, to just rewrite better. And didn't record myself when I performed with Danny Engel at Goofy's a couple weeks ago. Was very, very upset with myself for that, but just forgot. I was just so uh, not thinking with all the nerves going on. Just forgot to record it. Was a little upset. Got to record my set from this past Thursday from the Well Show. Have not listened to it. I can't bring myself to listen to it because I don't want to. I don't want to diminish the feeling that I had from being on stage or how I felt I did. I know I didn't do as good as I wanted to do, but I know I didn't. I did get some laughs, and I feel like the last 3 minutes were very strong. But I don't want to find out if that is true or not. And from where I had my phone, which is how I record my set, from where I had the phone, it was the furthest away from any audience member. So even if they did laugh, I'm probably not going to be able to hear it on the phone, which is going to be so crushing. Because you're going to think, man, this is all bad. None of this works. But like I said, I was performing to a table of four because I could see that their reactions, I could hear a little bit of laughter from them or a little bit of clapping here and there and stuff. And I was pointing up to, I was like, you get it, pointing at that table. They were my you get it table, because they were VIP and we were asked to really give it to them. As far as like roasting and getting them involved in the show. And I was just like, like STDs, you know what I'm talking about. And, and that they were my go-to. And, so I had fun with them. So if those four people, I really appreciate them. And hopefully everybody else, enjoyed what I did. But yeah, let me go ahead and cut this off. And, next time I'm going to bring some comedy bits. And to hear them out loud for the first time, and yeah, that's just how it's gonna work now. All right. So next week, see you later. Social media, whatever. Find me, your homie Pat, on Twitter, Instagram. Nothing else to promote. I don't have any shows coming on. This is going to be it. The BarbacoaCore is now my open mic platforms to try out bits. This is my Zoom online comedy show, my VR comedy show. This is where all the action is for my comedy. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Might just try out some bits. But, yeah, that's it for this week, though. I'll see y'all next week. Later.